Good evening. To sort of motivate the invitation tonight, we'll spend a little time in Luke 15. Luke 15, 11 through 32. Luke 15, 11 through 32. I think this is a passage you're very familiar with because there was a man that had two sons. There was an older and a younger. Coincidentally, when the younger one became old enough, he decided that his father was dead even though he was alive. He disrespectfully decided, I want my money. So his father gave him he gave him his inheritance. And he would leave the house. He would go into a far country and he would start to spend his money, buy friends and things of that nature. And surprisingly, in this parable, we don't hear anything about the older son at this time. We don't know if he liked that, didn't like that, didn't care. We just don't know. Well, after he ends up, the younger son ends up in the pig pen eating, what the pigs eat. He decided, this is not as great as what I thought. So he said, I'm going to go back home. I left as a son, hopefully I can come back as a servant. And so that's what he did. But during this time, you've got to imagine the father. The father was out looking all the time. When he was working, he may have been out on a hill and he was looking for his son. Maybe he was out on the road and he was looking for his son. We just don't know. But based on what we know about the father, he was always looking for his son. And we see in the parable that there comes a time when the younger son, comes back. And the father is found what? Looking for his son. And he doesn't tell him, hey, why don't you come back here, right beside me. What does he do? He runs to him because he sees him far off. Particularly at that time, it was sort of a little bit odd for an older man to be running. But nonetheless, he loved him and he went to him. Well, we find out that the father was just so happy that he had his son back. He was going to throw a party. I mean, this was the son that was lost and now he's found. He was dead, now he's alive. Coincidentally, when the older son at this time happened to be out in the field working, and he comes back in and it's like, what's going on here? Your brother is back. Your brother's back. We're throwing a party. Okay, fine and dandy, but I've been here the whole time, Dad. Anything you've asked, I've done. Everything you've asked, I've done. You've never thrown me a party. And the father says, don't worry, everything that's mine will be yours. Basically, I've already given your brother everything he is owed from an inheritance perspective. Everything is now yours. And I think it's important that we understand why he says this. He's thinking in material terms. He's not thinking about his brother, because if he was thinking about his brother, he'd say, man, that's great. The very interesting thing is there's probably two other brothers that we can sort of talk about. Like I said, I'm using this to motivate sort of what I would like to talk about tonight. So you got two sons, the older and the younger. There's two more. A third son, he never left the house like his younger brother did. But he wasn't like his older brother either, because he was distraught when his brother left. It hurt him. And perhaps he is out there with his father looking for his brother that left. And he was overjoyed when he came back. Maybe there's a fourth brother here. The fourth brother would be the one that maybe doesn't even have a home. He was going down the road or whatever in the fields, and he had no food, he had no home, he had no family. And he comes upon this home where there's the father, and they're throwing a party. And the father says, come on in. We are celebrating my son coming back from the dead. Wouldn't that be cool if you were that son to be adopted into that family at that time? But the question I have tonight is this, simply. Which son are you? So you have sort of four to choose from. Perhaps you're the fourth son and you don't have a home. Maybe you're sort of wandering through the fields and you're looking for a home. I don't know what the adoption process was at that time, but from God's perspective, it's really not too bad. You hear, you believe, you have faith, you repent, you confess, and you're baptized. And you're part of God's family. God has his arms wide open, just like the Father did here in this parable. He wants you. He loves you. He cares for you because he sent his son to die for you. I don't know, maybe you find out that you, on reflection, that you're the older son. Maybe you're sitting right here, but your heart's not in this room. You're not overly concerned about how you react and treat your brothers. Your relationship is not as strong as it needs to be. So you're here, but your heart's not. I don't know. You would have to determine that yourself. But just like the Father welcomed him in after he had his faith and he was going to give him all that he wanted, we would do the same for you. You'll need to recommit your life and repent. Maybe you're the younger son. Maybe you have already left the building and took your heart with it. And just coincidentally, you're here tonight. I don't know if that's the case. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. But the Father was always looking for you. And we will do the same. Maybe you're the fourth son. If you're the fourth son, you're the one who was torn up when his brother left. You're excited when he came back. I hope that's who you are. And if you are, keep it up. Because there's people that come in the doors all the time that are visitors. And they're looking for a church home. They're looking for God. They're looking to worship God. And we need to keep our eyes open and our hearts open and reach out to those people. Also, we need to be like God because that's what he would do. And that's what he did for each and every one of us. Because at one time we were all the son that wandered around in the fields looking for a home. And here we are. If we can help you at any point in any way, as we're about to sing a song of encouragement, please come forward. Whether you're the older son, the younger son, or the son that is soon to be adopted. We stand ready to help you as we stand and sing our song of encouragement.